What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gen. In this video, we've got a massive update on Manta for you guys. So I don't even want to waste any more time because I know you guys love those short videos. Just remember, nothing here is financial advice. And if after watching all of this, you're confused or you want some extra help with Manta or coaching with anything related to Web3, we've got a private group for YouTube members. It costs 25 US a month. This morning, we farmed the Mo airdrop. We did it very fast. So, want a community like that? Make sure you pop in and sort of join that sort of secret community, the Web3 secret society. With that being said, you guys don't need me to tell you, but I've covered this a couple times before. Manta is one of the most hyped airdrop launches that's in this space right now. They have 700 million plus TVL. They're the fastest growing L2. Lots of people are talking about it because everyone wants those Manta reward tokens. And as a quick refresher, if we take a look back at Manta, we found out right before the new year that we would have the different NFT types having different values in terms of the Manta allocation that they would get. We found out that 50 million Manta would be given to all of sort of this new paradigm initiative. 30 million would go to the tier 1 to tier 6 NFT holders based on the rarity, right? We know, and I'm sure if you've in this, I've gotten a ton of tier 1 backers. I also got a lead code for one of the people on my team earlier last week when I showed the video. I'll put the links in the description, but they each have different values. One of the things you should know, they have not to this date told us the difference between tier 1 backers, leaderboard scores, all the way up to lead codes. All we know is you need all 6 to qualify for a different allocation, because you merge those NFTs into the gold one. So there could be some upside in purchasing some of the smaller NFTs, likely the tier 1 backers and leaderboard scores. And I'm going to explain to you why I think that's the case as we get into this video. So that's 30 million of 50. The next 15 million are for that modular L2 NFT. This is tier 7, and this is you take tier 1 to tier 6, you combine them, and you get this. So there's much fewer of these in existence. In fact, this number is capped by the number of lead codes that are open, and that's a very rare NFT. So what we expect is a ton more Manta tokens will go here than anywhere else, right? And then finally, the last 5 million, 4.2 is when you sort of restake that stone token that you got, either with Layer Bank, I don't know, Shoebill, whatever other protocols that they have. And then the last 800K is for people who use partner wallets, whether you're using Trust Wallet, BitGet Wallet, OKX, Bybit, etc. So there's some fancy ways that you can get some Manta token. But then what happened was it got a little more convoluted when they sort of brought up their Into the Blue campaign. So this sort of got reminded to people on January 5th. Now, the reality is most people heard about Manta with this new paradigm initiative. That's when it really went viral, really blew up in the space. But there were people here, early adopters that were in this space, really supporting the project. And they wanted to support those people who supported the ecosystem for the last 3 years. And what they did is they put together this sort of framework. So depending on what you have done, and all of this is like prior to the hype cycle for the most part. We had Manta Fest Dawn with participants having more than 100 points. They got 4 million Manta sort of allocated. And we have this across the board. Some stuff happened in December. I'm not going to go through all of this, but basically some people have qualified for that other 50 million allocation. Remember, this is a completely different 50 million than the one in New Paradigm. Now, one of the things I always tell people, you can read all this and go, hey, I didn't qualify. Nothing hurts to just check. There's nothing worse than misunderstanding and not going to the website and not claiming, and then finding out months later from somebody else who was in the same spot as you, oh, they didn't think they qualified, but they clicked on it and they got a couple hundred, couple thousand tokens. So I put the link to this in the description below. Check it out. Connect your wallet. I have done so. I'm not qualified, but maybe it's different for you. Now, the next thing is, if you want the FAQ on sort of maybe you interacted with on chain, but you didn't interact with Galaxy, which is like their campaign initiative program. It's like a website. You still qualify. So this is why I say, hey, just check the actual airdrop checker. Try to claim those tokens. Now, before we get into the rest of it, so those are the first two ways that you can earn Manta. That's 100 million tokens. The next thing I want to talk about is just, they mentioned this in a space earlier, but they want to also support those who stake Celestia token. So they haven't given a sort of finite answer what that will look like, but I always tell you guys, if you want to pretty much lock up getting airdrop allocations when anything happens on Celestia, try to aim to have at least 50 Celestia token staked outside a top 20 validator if you can afford to, but never stake with a centralized exchange. You can see here on this wallet, I have 50.5594 TIA staked. Exactly 50 staked. Sorry, 50 staked. I leave 0.35 sort of as gas because you always want to be able to do transactions. And I split these up out with two validators outside the top 20, Nocturnal Labs and Stake Cedo. Part of the reason why I always try to diversify my validators, unless there's a specific campaign, is sometimes a validator can get jailed and you just completely get disqualified for the airdrop or anything like that, even if you followed everything properly. Now, Celestia as a token has been doing incredibly well. It's sitting at $14. If you claimed it from the airdrop, you would have gotten it at like $2. And if you held on to it, you would have done fantastic. And I think this token, while it may have some short-term downward movement, I think long-term, especially once we start seeing airdrops come out in a big way, Dimension is going to be the first one that people notice, that you get a ton of tokens for staking even any amount of Celestia. Well, people are going to start saying, hey, I need to start stacking this and I don't want to sell this. I need to stake it. And that takes 21 days to unbound as well. So, or unbond. So this is something for me. I currently have somewhere around 300 plus Celestia tokens across multiple wallets, across other things like, Milk Tia, etc. We're not going to talk about that in this video. Now, I said all this. I just told you 3 ways that you can earn Manta token, right? And I'm not doing this in a 30-minute, 1-hour video. A lot of YouTubers love doing that because they can insert a ton of ads and they can get paid. But you guys just want the straight up information, and that's what I want to give to you. So the first way is through New Paradigm. We went through how you can get that through the NFTs, through the partner wallets, through sort of staking the Stone token. Then you have the Into the Blue campaign, which is really previous activity that you can't do anything about right now. So all you can do is check and see if you got it. And number 3, just because we haven't got confirmation, I believe that a snapshot has been taken for Manta on Celestia. Make sure you're staking sufficient token. I get sometimes you're unable to stake the full 50. Hey, in that case, try to stake around at least $100. That should be enough to pass the barrier. But I expect this to be more of one of those airdrops that scales out, so that someone who has $100 does not get the same as someone who gets 500. That all being said, why do we care? Well, what's really cool is if you go on KuCoin and you check their pre-market website, you can actually see the Manta token is trading for a little over $3 a token right now. So you think about that. Think about how they're giving out 100 million tokens. If you can even get a few hundred, that's like $300, $600, $900. So We know this token is not one of those like meme tokens where you get like 3,000 and they're worth like, less than a hundredth of a cent. So this is actually super worthwhile. And the last thing I will sort of leave you on with this is, let's not also forget about Ethereum. Ethereum has not really ran. And all these protocols that are coming out, whether it's Manta, Blast, Eigenlayer to a lesser extent, because you can stake and unstake right away. But people don't want to unstake because everyone's filling up the rooms. So when people are looking for more Ethereum, there's going to be less around. So any sort of sudden pull from the Ethereum, when there's an Ethereum demand pull, it's going to shoot this price up very fast and very high. That's my expectation. So I hope that somewhat explains what is going on with Manta. Guys, this is going to be a really hype launch, sitting there above $3. And that's just right now. This is pre-market. So love to see if this price will hold and it will continue. But what you can do right now is do the most to try to maximize your Manta allocation. So that's pretty much it. And I cue the outro. Thanks for watching to the end. What did you think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you got value, let others know by liking and sharing the video and subscribing to the channel so you continue to get the most up-to-date alpha. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.